We have the t-shirts back in stock, my darlings. What is delayed is not denied. We have it in blue since you loved it so very much indeed, my darlings. You better go ahead and get your t-shirt before it sells out, because I just might go ahead and do a yellow t-shirt for you and an orange t-shirt. You have to bear in mind, Baby Girl is a small brand. We are self-funding here, so I can only do so much. But yes, the t-shirt is back and I am living and loving. I also have a surprise for you. Yes. You asked and I said, why not? We have brought the black t-shirt back. What is delayed is not denied. Are we living and loving? Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we? So we're going to jump right into it, and we have Warren Hudson on Officer Tatum's channel for episode 3 and 4. I decided just to give us a little break, and I want to compile 3 and 4 together. The good news is I am not going to play the episodes for you. I'm just going to put in clips along the way, but I'm just going to talk through what we got. And TMZ has also given me a little compilation here, of which I'll read to you, and then we will get into all of the questions that I was asking in episodes 1 and 2. So TMZ now says, Nolan Wells' friend yelled, "Get the effing on the boat before we leave the island." Nolan Wells repeatedly refused to leave Horn Island on his buddy's boat, at least according to his best friend. Now, I am now finding out that coming on one boat does not necessarily mean these kids went back onto the same boat. There were so many boats coming out there, hundreds of them as a matter of fact, and it really did not matter what boat you went back on. So far as there was space for you, you asked, they said yes, you could get back on land via a different boat. So it did not matter.
No, that was the last time I laid eyes on him. But when we were leaving, obviously, no one is getting left at the island that came with us unless they demanded to, be there and asked, this is a very common thing at Horn Island. When you're out there, a lot of people ride out there with someone and in with somebody else all the time. I've done that 100 times. It's a very common thing, but Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and my buddy yelled for Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. The boat's having issues. And no, he didn't say that, but he was panicking. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Get on the boat. And Nolan said, no, I'm staying out here. I'm going to ride in with somebody else. And it's not uncommon to hear, but it's not like my buddy asked him one time. My buddy asked Nolan multiple times.
These young adults of 18 years old, there were 30 of them, divided by what? By 3 separate boats. Even Warren was not on the same boat that Nolan was on. When we see this picture of Nolan and his 3 friends, that's because most probably, I don't even know, they got into Horn Island and they took a picture. Why? Because majority of people stay in the water. They chill in the water. Some go onto the Horn Island itself. But majority of the time, they're in the water, they're chilling with their friends. So Nolan repeatedly refused to leave Horn Island on his buddy's boat, at least according to his best friend. Warren Hudson went on the Officer Tatum show, where he told Brandon Tatum that Nolan was repeatedly asked to get onto their boat before they took off. This is important because we have been fed the narrative that Nolan was abandoned. Nolan, if he does not want to leave, you cannot drag him onto the boat. His focus was on Katie. He wanted to stay back with Katie. And perhaps, because we will never know, Nolan is not here to tell us, perhaps he felt confident enough to stay back because he could get onto another boat. I don't know whether you guys know, it's now being confirmed that Nolan was found with only his swim shorts. He was not found fully dressed. That's extremely important because that lets us know that he was in the water willingly. If he was fully dressed, that would give an indication that he had been done with swimming, he he had been done with the day, and perhaps he was on a boat when something, maybe he fell off or he was about to get on a boat, if you know what I mean. The mere fact that he was in his swim trunks lets me know that he was still in the zone of enjoying the day, in a sense, okay? The way Warren tells it, it's not uncommon to go onto Horn Island on one boat and come back to the mainland on a completely different one. I just said that. He said his buddy was panicking, trying to get Nolan to leave with them, allegedly saying, "Nolan, get the F on the boat." Warren claimed that Nolan wasn't the only person in their group to leave with someone else that day. I'm also finding out that Nolan went to Horn Island last year, 4th of July, with the same group of friends. This is something that was not new news. It's different today because Nolan didn't come back home this time around. As you know, Nolan's body was found in the water off Horn Island days after he went missing on 4th of July. His friends reported that he stayed behind to hang out with a girl, but that girl told police he was planning to head back with his pals. Nolan's family is conducting an independent investigation into the teen's mysterious death, as they should. Warren also gave us screenshots that indicate that he got in touch with Miss Christine. Miss Christine is who? Nolan's mother. And I have an issue there. A couple of things. Warren reached out to the mother. He also called the Coast Guard right away. Remember yesterday, or was it day before, I had said, had Christine and I gone out there, and and this was something that we did on a regular basis, and Christina decided that she wanted to stay there, it is a huge possibility that I would have left her behind, because she insisted on staying, and our lifestyle is such that she could catch another boat coming back. She has done that before, so why would I think that this was something that could go awry? Now, when I saw the messages, here's the issue. If I'm trying to find my son is missing, and children start to reach out to me, I could be in a haze because I'm panicked more than anything else. I stand by Miss Christine if she forgot or her mind wasn't there. I am telling you, there was a time when my son was playing. I was talking to another neighbor and I didn't hear my son's voice. Mid-sentence, I walked right off to go and look for him. My mind wasn't there. My mind was focused on him until I turned around and I saw him, and then I came back. As a matter of fact, that's not true for me. We went back into the house because my heart was fluttering and I was like, oh no. I had to really gather myself. So yes, by all means, Warren could have reached out to her.
Yeah, have y'all seen Nolan? Did he ride in with y'all? And all the boys were like, no. Well, I texted Javon and I was like, hey, can you send me Miss Christine's number? Because I haven't heard from Nolan. And if she hasn't heard from Nolan, then I'm calling the Coast Guard. And so eventually Javon sends me her number.
Who is her? That's
Miss Christine.
Miss Christine is
Nolan's mom.
Nolan's mom. Okay.
Yeah. And I walked down to the dock because, I mean, there was a lot of people at Ava. It's not a lot, but, you know, there was probably 15 of our friends there. And I was just like, walked down to the dock with a couple of my buddies, and I got on the phone I called Miss Christine, called her the first time. She didn't answer. I called her a second time, and I got on the phone with her, and I asked her if she had heard from Nolan. She said no. And I said, all right, well, don't freak out. I'm going to call the Coast Guard. And this was at about 11 o'clock.
So what's your intent in calling the Coast Guard, right? Because
we've heard different accounts of how long he's known them. And I was wondering also if you folks have spoken to those families since they lawyered up.
High school friends.
Is when we found out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that second part again.
Have they talked to the families? No.
Last question.
Have they spoken to the families?
How many people would have reached out to her? Because I think there was a press release where she had said nobody reached out to her, and then later she corrected herself. Miss Christine is allowed to make as many errors as she needs to have, because I don't know anybody who can talk about how I would behave if we were in her shoes, of which nobody wants to belong. So I'm going to give her grace. That does not mean anything to me. Another thing, there was a parent that reached out to Miss Christine, Ashley Cole. Christine, this is Ashley Cole. If or when you ever want to talk to me, this is my number. She reached out. But to me, what is this? Hello, Christine. This is Ashley Cole. Let me first say that I am so sorry. We stand by you. I will pass by. You don't need to come out. You don't need to say anything. I'll bring food. I'll bring sandwiches. We are on top of this. Nolan is our son too. I am so very sorry that you are going through this. I will pass by. You don't need to come downstairs. You don't need to do anything. I just want you to know that we are here in full support. That's somebody who has common sense, as far as I am concerned. Maybe, I don't know, but that's what I would do. But to say if and when, like it's a casual lunch date on a Tuesday afternoon from work, does not make sense to me. There's a way to reach out, and there's a way to reach out. That's all that I'm saying. That's all that I'm saying. This right here didn't give me anything, and I tell you here and now, I would not have reached out to her to take my time. You see, wow. I have lost a son. 18 years. Vanished. And that's exactly what has happened. Nolan vanished. The day before, he said, I'm going to spend the night at a friend's house. And he never came back home. That's what I have to deal with. I have to deal with bumping into his laundry. I have to deal with that I will pick up my phone and nobody will be on the other end. That all of his friends are going to be constant reminders that my own son is not here. And we don't know how. Now I'm also finding out the keys were not on the boat. The keys, Nolan left them in the house, which makes perfect sense. Why would he take the car keys when the car is parked by his friend's house? I would do the same thing. I would leave the keys in the house so that when I come back, I pick up my keys and I take my car and I go. There was also underage drinking. You guys have told me now, Fumi, 21 is the legal age. But they were drinking. They're 18 years old. Could that have played a part in it? I don't know until we get the toxicology report. He might have been lightheaded. I don't know. We don't know till we get the autopsy and the toxicology report. Talking about the autopsy, there were parts of his organs that had been already removed and put in bags, as well as parts of his throat, because the second autopsy, which was the private autopsy, the body came, parts of it were incomplete. I know this because of the Shanquella Robinson case. Talking about the Shanquella Robinson case, again, Tatum, Officer Tatum, I respectfully appreciate that you went out to Horn Island and to speak to these boys. A lot of the boys did not want to speak because they were very, very scared and they were getting a lot of death threats. And so Warren was the only courageous boy to speak out. And everybody feels a way about this case. I think that I would humbly say that it's not a good idea to lean to one side and say the boys are innocent and this, that, and the third. We don't know anything. We just should gather the information and wait until we have everything to make that decision about Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton. I think it is unfair to say that it's a money grab. I think it is unfair to say that they have other agendas, because how did I discover Benjamin Crump? Through the Shanquella Robinson case. And that was a black-on-black crime that happened in Mexico.
Benjamin Crump, you gonna mess around and make me follow you everywhere I see a press conference. I was just scrolling online and I saw Ben Crump grifting again in Madison. We gonna fly out to Madison. Let me tell you what I saw. Didn't see him at the press conference initially. I see a mother crying. My son didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve to be killed this way. I should have been buried before my son. I almost shed a tear. Then I looked in the background. I said, Benjamin Crump is there. And that is a press conference from today. He flew from Mississippi there. And then I said, just because Benjamin Crump there don't mean that it's a scam. Then I said, let me go look it up. Corey Ruiz. I said, let me look up Corey Ruiz. Oh, this is the shooting where this guy pulled a knife and stabbed a police officer and they shot him. What are we saying here? Then I looked at his criminal record. Strangulation, robbery, assault on a police officer causing physical injury. This a few priors. And he gets shot. And Benjamin Crump, I'm on your tail, bro, goes to Madison in a press conference and say, it was an execution. Look, I swear I can't make this up. He finna go for another wrongful death suit payout. How is it an execution when this guy stabbed a police officer, then they deployed a taser which failed, and then they shot him? And I'm finna lose my mind. I'm telling you, I'm gonna look into this more. I might be going to another place. Y'all gonna mess around and make me a street journalist. Benjamin Crump, it's crazy that you still out here hoodwinking. Let me tell you this right now, Stephen A. Smith and Charles, I'm telling you right now, if a white boy was on an island with his black friends, all black, and some white folks put on a camera that something must be suspicious because the one white boy is with all these black dudes, and something may have happened. We know that people covering it up and everything because these kids black. Man, we'd be pissed off on that. Ain't no way in the world I'd accept somebody saying, you gonna blame these black boys for doing something to this kid just because they black? That's insane. And that's what happened in this situation.
If a white boy had been on that boat with 3 black boys, we would have seen a very different.
Where's your evidence? Give me a case.
History.
No history. You can say history can tell us everything.
We would have seen please let me finish my statement. We would have seen a very different.
Give me an example.
The exonerated 5.
So I don't think it's fair to say that because the boys are white and Nolan was black. We were fed the information that it was 3 boys, 3 white boys, and Nolan being black. This is good news that you have spoken to Warren, and we know that there were 30 of them. And there were so many mixed boys as well as black boys as well. But the issue here that will never change in America, it's a trigger. It will always be a trigger. Any black or white case will be a trigger for black folk. And they have every right. I stand 10 toes deep, 110%, because single-handedly of the history and things that continue to go on. And I will say, as an African, I'm American now, but as an African who came to the United States in circa 1994, I will never be able to express in words. I would never find the words to express myself how I felt when I saw the horrors Rodney King. What I saw on television was so... I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep to see these 4 white officers beat onto this man. Then I understood. Then I understood what black America was going through. And those 4 men got off. That was a signal that this can happen to any one of us and nothing will come out of it. So you can't just sit back and say, oh, because they're just blaming these white boys. The white boys, the boys themselves, their personalities, their person themselves, is not that. It's a reminder of so many other cases, by the way, of what could take place and nothing will come of it. Al Sharpton has to be there and give the eulogy You know why? Because he's bringing more eyes to the case. Tyler Perry's name has to be mentioned, and Spike Lee and a slew of others, because this is how this case has become international news. I am speaking from the United Kingdom, and when I tell you that this case is on fire, yes it is, because we identify with it, because it represents so many stories, so many experiences that has happened literally in every black family. We cannot forget who we are, because we are who we are. And I say that with pride. Why didn't Warren go to the funeral? Death threats. They were getting death threats. The family, his family was getting death threats. He was scared. And in no way, shape or form did he think it was a good idea to go to the funeral and to have the focus on him. Why didn't you give him his phone? That phone will forever be something in my mind that I will never understand. Is it a situation? No, still no excuse. If Nolan did not want to come, then somebody should have given him his phone. Or maybe it was a situation, which is also fair play, that you didn't remember that his phone was on the boat.
Before I called Miss Christine, I asked, I was like, oh, well, where's his location at? Because Nolan had his Snapchat location on for me. And he said, you know, it's, Wyatt said it's, you know, in my truck. Like, because everybody who left stuff on the boat, it was Wyatt's boat, so Wyatt put it in his truck, you know, like, it's normal. And so the phone was in possession in Wyatt's truck. And when that mom came over and asked for it, there was no issue at all with us giving the phone to her. I mean, Nolan just left it on the boat. We handed the phone to her that night of the 4th of July.
And did you guys go through the phone, or?
Of course not. I mean, well, none of us had a reason to go through Nolan's phone. I mean, there's multiple phones on the boat. Why would it be? And the boat was having issues. Why would our concern be getting on Nolan's phone or something? I mean, I don't even know Nolan's password. None of my friends do. We had no reason ever to get on Nolan's phone and look at anything. Before I called Miss Christine, I didn't even touch Nolan's phone. None of us touched Nolan's phone until somebody took it off the boat and put it in Wyatt's truck, and then no one touched it until we handed it back, you know, to the mom that was at my buddy's house.
Was that the only phone that she picked up, or was it other people's phone that they came and got? Or?
That I know of, I think that was the only one that she had. Yeah, but I'm not completely sure. I think that's the only one that she took Nolan's. That's it.
I understand also. You could never have imagined that this would be the outcome. They all went home. Remember, these are 18-year-old boys. I have to constantly remind myself of that. Because I remember when I was 18, I did not remember or think about anybody. I didn't even think of myself or what dangers I could be in. And yes, I went into people's cars. When we went to parties, we went to anybody's car. When I think about it now, it was so horrendous because we did not know whether any of our friends were drunk. We did not. And we were drinking at the party. Yes, we were. Well, not I, but I'm talking about my friends. And I put myself in that danger. I did not think about their driver's license. I didn't. I jumped into the car and I didn't think about it. We were in university then. We were driving back and forth from state to state. Jesus. We didn't think about it. We were young, we were carefree, it was summer, it was hot, we had crushes on boys and so on and so forth, and all we thought about was that we were going to see him and we were in our cute little dress and, you know, maybe he gave us a kiss, that kind of thing. Yes, we did. I remember when I was that age. And so here we are.
Nolan could be with a chick. He could be with somebody else.
Right.
He could have gone back with somebody else. What made you concerned enough that you felt like you couldn't weigh it out anymore? You had to call the Coast Guard.
Well, I mean, like I said, my friends and I have been on the water our whole life. Stuff happens. People die all the time. I know people that have died out there. And, you know, it's a fun place to be, but it's also a very, very dangerous place to be if you're not handling it right. And Nolan, so I hadn't heard from him, and obviously I'm thinking I'd way rather be safe than sorry. I mean, I would rather call the Coast Guard 100 times and lose my mind over it, and my buddy be okay, than, not, and me not know where he is and him not be okay. And so I called the Coast Guard, and I talked to them on the phone for like 20 minutes, gave him a description, what Nolan was wearing, the last place we were at, the last time I saw him, who were we with.
This is sad. This is so, so very sad. And yes, it has gotten a lot of attention because of black and white. But this is America. This is America. With the history, what are we talking about? That is what it is. Darlings, let me know down in the comment section. You guys let me know. Drop it down in the comment section and let me know how you feel. Do not forget to like, to subscribe, hit the notification button, and I'll see you I'll see you sooner than later. All of my love.
Hi guys, my name is ENITAN, hair coach. I am UK's first ever hair coach and a trichologist. We are a team of trichologists and hair coaches here in W6 London, and we help those who are desperate and have tried and everything else has failed. We look after those who have chronic scalp concerns, flaky, itchy scalp that's been going on for many years. We help those that have hair loss that has progressed instead of improved, and we help those that just generally want to have a better understanding of better quality hair, length, volume, and reduce that dryness. Visit us by clicking.
I am so excited. I mean, talk about keeping it in the family. For those of you that don't know, I was a beauty queen. Yes, I was Miss West Africa 1990. Yes, decades ago. And then it's come back full circle with my beautiful niece Farah, who is competing to be Miss Alberta. I want you guys to sponsor, to support her. She has a wonderful support page. Please go right ahead and support her. Please, please, please. She is absolutely beautiful and amazing. I remember when Farah was born, and to see her now walking on stage and winning all of these beauty competitions just warms my heart. So I want to use my platform to spread the word out there. Please support my wonderful niece Farah, and just click onto the link and give her all the support that you can. I will deeply, deeply, deeply I will deeply appreciate it. And Farah, congratulations. Congratulations. Well, you know you're my daughter anyway, because I don't have daughters. So you are my daughter. It doesn't matter who birthed you. You're my daughter. And I am so, so proud of you. Fumi Nation, this is the first. Yes, my darlings. The next generation doing wonderful and amazing things. And for Farah to walk out on these platforms and really follow in my steps, in my footsteps, I am absolutely speechless. And I want you to support her. Okay? All of my love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for everything. I love you guys. Mwah.